Hey everybody, good morning to you. It is Phil Friedman here from beautiful Surfside, California. I am taking refuge in my car once again because the audio quality is pretty good in the car, number one. Actually, number one is all that rain out there and all that wind. I gave it a try, but it was raining a little bit too hard. I'm a big baby. And also the audio was terrible because the wind was pretty fierce down there. Not terrible, but about 12 knots of breeze. And it seems like it's going to worsen. Of course, we're supposed to have more rain as the day goes on. But that doesn't mean we don't have a lot of information. We've got some kids trip information for you all, some bluefin tuna information for you all. I'll be at the Inland Saltwater Anglers Club this evening in Upland, California. At 6 o'clock, I'll be showing up and speaking sometime, I think, around 8. So if you can come out, they're very welcoming to new guests coming to their club, and it'd be great to see you tonight. And also, we've got a lot of rockfish information, where you can do it, and a special trip with Ventura Sport Fishing on Friday. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for my cup of coffee and the morning briefing. Ah, delicious. Well, we do have to talk about weather, but before we get into that, our kids trip scheduled for Friday morning, 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro. We're going to make a call on whether that trip is a go or not tomorrow before 12 noon. So check in on the morning briefing, please. If you are on that trip, we want you to check in. There's a high surf advisory, and it may not be dangerous, but we want this to be a really positive trip for the kids that you're bringing. So if I think everybody's going to get seasick or it's just going to be a miserable experience, then we're going to have to postpone to another day. And it could be with that high surf advisory, it could be that it might be a little dangerous. So we'll look into that, make the call tomorrow morning. Make sure if you're on that trip, you check in with us. Ventura Sport Fishing has a trip this Friday on board the California. They're leaving from Ventura and fishing for whitefish and sand dabs. So if you want some great table fare, how can you beat that? I know one of the restaurants I was in here recently, I wanted $30 for 2 sand dabs. So it's a value to you all, and it's a great day to get out on the water. This Friday, California, Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. All right. Let's talk weather, first of all, and talk weather as it pertains to our bluefin tuna bite, because we've seen some remarkable bluefin tuna fishing about 220 miles down the Baja coast, down there toward Cedros Island. It has been spectacular, and there are guys getting on it right now, so we'll get a preview of what January portends for all of us, because, my God, you're talking fish in the 40 to 250 plus pound category. David Maestro recently on the Intrepid really said it was one of the most special trips he has ever been on. And that is pretty crazy here as we are now into 2023. And that is some remarkable stuff. Those fish have been biting on the 100-pound with a sinker rig. That's been the best way to do it. Remember, these are big, tough BFTs, and they do have teeth, so they will chew through the line. We like Opsin Fluorocarbon, www.opsinusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. Greg Brown, the owner, will send you a love note as well as a free gift for putting FA, Friedman Adventures, in there. So that's your tackle. That area still looks good. Hopefully that bluefin is going to continue to bite. We should know more in the coming days about that, as it's looking really, really good down there in that neck of the woods. Now, the weather down there is going to get up to the point where it's going to be pretty nasty this weekend. Right now, beautiful weather, and it's going to ride right into Friday evening, let's say, and then go down the tubes Saturday, Sunday-ish, and then go right back to flat calm. Gorgeous weather after that. So we're going to have a temporary weather event down there in that area where that big bluefin tuna is biting. Mostly wind, but there's going to be periods of rain also. It's raining here, as you can see, in Surfside, California. So that zone is going to have wind. Now, Tanner Bank is the exact opposite. It's up right now and pretty much going to stay up and down, but it's just so volatile right now that it's a tough kind of situation until the weekend when it goes down. Now, there's still going to be a big swell, but there's going to be no wind on it, so it should be fishable if anybody wants to get out there and give it a shot. I don't know who is going to be running trips quite yet, but guys are going to be headed out there, I'm sure. Freedom, maybe out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, as well as maybe some San Diego-based boats. Tribute has been heading out there doing quite well. The last few trips out there have been much slower, and guys cited a lack of current as the reason why it was so much slower. But we'll have to see if it is finally grinding to a halt or it's just going to keep right on going. It shows some signs, as I say, of slowing. Was it the current, or is that bite finally kind of ready to peter out and leave us with other species to focus on for the rest of the winter? We'll find out. There's still a lot of squid, despite some really cool water temperatures out there in the 50 degrees, mid to high 50 degree range out there. And that squid has been the magnet that has been holding that bluefin tuna in there. It just keeps feeding on it. It sees no reason, the bluefin that is, to leave. And so high hopes are that it's going to bite. Now, it's been a bite that's been on the finicky side. So 25-pound fluorocarbon's been the way to go, like a quarter to half-ounce sliding egg sinker. And if you're fishing the live squid, a 1/0 hook buried in that squid has been working really well. Jeff Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club shared that with me. He was on a recent trip on board the Freedom, had a great time, and mentioned that 25-pound was the best way to get a bite. Sometimes you even have to drop down to lighter than that, like 20-pound, but you're playing a very dangerous game if you do that. You hook a fish that's in the 50 to 60-pound category, and you got your hands full. Let's put it that way. Danny Cadota caught one on 30-pound on that Legends trip. It's on a short right now, so it can be done. I mean, his fish was up there around 60, so it can be done, but you're playing that dangerous game. So you're walking that fine line. You need to get bit. And in order to get bit, you've got to drop down. But you need to hang on to the fish also, or it's all in vain. It's a futile effort. So once again, 25 pounds seems about right. If you can go up, if you see the intensity of the bite really starting to turn on, then go up with your fluoro. It will make a big difference to your success. Remember, January 1st, we saw the close of rockfish in Southern California, so no mas rockfish for now. But opportunities abound. You can cross the border and go join our friends down there in Ensenada and Punta Banda with Blackfin Sport Fishing. Love fishing with Nacho and Victor, all those great folks down there in that neck of the woods. I met Nacho's sister, who runs one of the pongas out of Blackfin, at the Orange County Fair the other night. That's what a small world it truly is. So really good rock fishing down there. Excellent fishing is you go down the coast and fish lings. You can bounce an iron or bounce a big swim bait type of lure. All those work really well on those lings. If you snag some mackerel, of course, mackerel is just a spectacular bait for ling hunting. They also catch bokashi and whitefish and sheep's head, all kinds of bottom grabbers in that neck of the woods. The other alternative to you is to jump on a San Diego-based boats. Now, there's half-day boats out of Seaforth that are going into Mexican waters where rock fishing is legal this time of the year. So you have that, or you can do one of the Colonette type trips, which are starting up this weekend. They go down to Punta Colonette, about 120 miles or so, and normally the rock fishing is really, really good. At times, the yellowtail fishing is really, really good. So you can get the best of both worlds. And, you know, I'm not going to count out the possibility of driving over some bluefin tuna in that neck of the woods. That certainly is viable right now with this bluefin, you know, in several different spots. We know they're on Tanner. We know they're down there by Cedros, but you got to think there's bluefin elsewhere that the boys just haven't gotten on quite yet. You start sending a bunch of boats down there to Colonette, and you send boats with the expertise that the San Diego fleet has, I have no doubt that somebody is going to come up with some BFT in that neck of the woods. The other alternative is to fish whitefish and sand dabs, and as previously mentioned, Ventura Sport Fishing, 805-676-3474. They are going to be ready for you. So as we look along the coast, rockfish is not viable right now, and this weather is kind of snotty, so it's going to be sculpin and sand bass and it's not exactly wide open right now, but if you want a day out on the water and you want some outdoor fun, there's nothing like jumping on a boat, having a boat burger, and perhaps catching a big sand bass or some great eating sculpin. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't forget, tonight I'll be at the Island Saltwater Anglers Club. There's the info for you on that slide. Love to see you there. It would be really a pleasure and an honor for me to see you there, and I can't wait to see the great folks from the Island Saltwater Anglers Club this evening in Upland, California. All right, my friends, don't forget Ventura Sport Fishing with a trip on Friday. We're watching these bluefin tuna zones very, very carefully. We'll make a call on our kids' trip out there on the Monte Carlo. We still, regardless of if that trip goes or not, 1 o'clock to 4 p.m., we'll be at 22nd Street Landing on Friday. Come down, have a cup of coffee, a hot dog. You can see the El Patron down there. You'll probably see more of the San Pedro fleet, the guys in the ticket office, Mike Morrison and Tony and Janelle and Damien. I'm not sure who exactly is going to be there, but whoever it is, they're all really great folks. They're fun to get to know. And, of course, 2023 promises to be another huge year at 22nd Street Landing. All right, my friends. I know, I'm a baby. What can I tell you? I'm hiding up here out of the wind and out of the rain, but the morning briefing lives on as always. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you tonight. Hope to see you Friday night. If not, I hope to see you really, really soon. Take care, my friends. Delicious.